I'm not really feeling super talkative, so this is just gonna be me kind of like. I don't really think I should work in silence because this is a YouTube video and I have no background music, but I'm trying to think about how to build like uh a website for people to find care just in general, right? I don't really even know if that's kind of what I want to describe it as. It's just like very open-ended general, just like a website for people to find help with like day-to-day life stuff. But I don't know. So let me turn this down. Let's actually find some emo bops. Are we gonna do Ethel Kane today? Yeah, let's do some Ethel Kane. Freaking bangers, dude. Ethel Kane, if you see this, I'm not single, but please call me. Okay, so I don't even know. So like my problem, I guess, is that when people look for stuff that they need help with online, it's just a lot of SEO results, and it's not actually tangible tools or tangible like resources. But like if you're looking for like how to find an addiction treatment center, like usually the first thing that'll pop up is it's like some for-profit like company called like Brook Riverside Counseling, and it'll just be like an SEO article written to get you to go into that program. And so I want to create like a non-biased like website or care platform where people can figure out like what the next steps are to deal with a lot of these really hard situations and things that they might face. And so there already is like a little bit, ignore this, I was playing Roblox with Valkyrie earlier, but we do already have like somewhat, no, we have somewhat of a website. Um so I guess I'm just gonna start off by reviewing what I don't like about the current site and maybe thinking about like what we could add and what we could integrate. So first and foremost, I think the tap button to exit pretty clear. I think like if people are in an emergency situation, they know to click that and it'll take them to somewhere else. Search here, I feel like the biggest issue is ambiguity as to what this actually is. So if you look around, you're like, okay, like I see there's like resources and there's mental health and there's community things, but the information about what it actually is a little bit lower. So maybe like bumping that up or like adding a banner or integrating some other method of making it more clear. And then I also think like this is okay, but I don't think this is the best use of like the screen and of the layout. And I think something that might be better is to have all of this kind of like go up to where the search here thing is, because like this really only looks for like keywords, and so I feel like I don't know, I don't really think it's like that efficient. So maybe we could break it down by category, community, and care type, which is pretty much like categories are right here, communities are right here, and then care type is pretty much like website, fund, so on and so forth. A lot of these are websites, but I just think making that a little bit easier to understand would be pretty helpful. And I also want to expand on the utility of it, right? Like, I feel like resources online are like one part of it, which is really cool, but I don't feel like it's the whole piece of the puzzle. And I also don't feel like everybody knows specifically what they need or even where to get started, right? So, the way that I'm trying to like frame it and the kind of cultural connotation that I'm thinking of is, especially with Gen Z, every time something political or bad happens, I see like a card and it's like Black Lives Matter.card.co, or like something where people just love to create resources and they love to create lists of like things that could be easily spread and easily shared. And I think if we were to place that in a nonprofit like context, that would be super powerful, and it would also be a really interesting marketing slash content creation tool, right? Like I feel like lists could be really easy for us as an organization to like quickly respond to events and like share it and say like, hey, like, you know, this like major suicide happened, like here's a list of like resources for um you know what to do if like you're experiencing something like that. I haven't really thought of like the ways that we could fundraise off of it. For those of you who don't know, my nonprofit doesn't take donations. We've mostly been working on contracts and as volunteers, but eventually my goal is that we have software platforms that we charge enterprise or governmental clients for, and then that's how we make our money, and that scales a little bit easier, and it's just easier than donating and dealing with foundations because it's just really an uncommon nonprofit model and I really don't want to get into it. But I think there's also a lot of like avenues here for, you know, we could charge like companies or nonprofits to publish their list, to create their own lists. Maybe we could turn this into like, I don't know, like a tool that people use like at schools or at colleges or like governments use to help people navigate their programs, because if you're trying to figure out what local benefits you have, there's like 211, but it's also not necessarily super clear all the time. So I don't know, I'm just trying to spitball it and I haven't thought much about that. But the primary subsections are like the lists, which is pretty much like these are all of these different resources. Guides, which I think would be non-biased step-by-step instructions on how to deal with common but hard things. Ideally, I would like to reach out to other nonprofits and ask them if they would let us republish or repost information they already have, or if they would like to collaborate on posting something. I haven't started doing that yet, but I feel like that would be beneficial for both of us. And then resources is pretty much what you just already saw. So there's that. I don't really love this kind of like layout just yet. I don't love that text placement right here. So probably what we're gonna do today is we're gonna try to figure out landing layout more. Also figure out what guides slash lists look like, and then look at other common aggregation platforms, right? And I think, look at other common aggregation platforms. So first and foremost, we're going to start with a project that I helped design early on. It's run by this amazing company, I think called Live for Tomorrow, and they built this really interesting mental health specific tool called Find a Helpline, and it's pretty much all of these different helplines, like in all of these different countries. So pretty much you just go through and you look for it, and it shows you like, this is this lifeline, and this is when they're open, and this is how you call them, and this is like text, call, online chat. They also have it verified, so that's really cool. But so you can kind of see they have the same thing up here where they have the quick exit bar or an emergency services bar, which is really common on nonprofit websites because oftentimes abuse victims need to be able to leave sites quickly, like if someone comes in and they're looking at stuff. So you see there they have their common searches. I think that's really smart. Because they do operate on a larger scale than we do, we're just US right now in their country, they start by asking you your country, and then they ask what you would want help with, and then you search through there, which is really cool. So I think that's an interesting way of going about it. Ours is also more like general. It's not hyper local. We try to only use remote resources, so I like the flow. And I think these little cards are super easy to understand and to read through. I think it's a really beautiful site, and kudos to the team who built it. I think the other aggregator that I'm thinking about also is Yelp. I also think Yelp is very, like, I actually really like this. I might screenshot it. So I think the immediate value add is really apparent, like, in the search bar, right? Where it's just like, what does it do? Boom. Things to do, right? So maybe a way that we could have modified Everine to be a little bit more understandable is to say, like, search here for nonprofit resources, or something that just adds more context to what is going on as opposed to just like vaguer language. I also think this little like banner I think is really smart because first and foremost it gives context to what the site is actually about if you're using it for the first time, and then it like immediately jumps you into specific things. I think also that the Everine site is beautiful, but I feel like it's missing a lot of visuals, and maybe like something that we could do is go to Unsplash and like credit photographers and just take those images. But for context, where this site actually came from is the Attorney General of Hawaii called Astra um, on Christmas Eve in 2020, and they asked us to build a platform for um, substance abuse issues because they were about to announce a state of emergency, and pretty much they wanted a place for their stakeholders, like their communities, to talk to each other and to figure out like what they would actually be doing about the issue, and also for their constituents, which is like the population of Hawaii, to go in and to find the resources that were available. So the project didn't get off the ground, but we did eventually want to spin it off into something ourselves outside of the context of a governmental organization. So you can kind of see it's like very similar here, where it's like, this is what it is, this is the rating. I don't think Everine has the rating system right now. Some images, the mobile app, what it looks like, the details, the organization that runs it, and so on. And so if you actually look at the resources, it's just like, it's a website, these are the tools, finance, career, something, and then email, website, and then open resource. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we could like have these color coded a little bit to make it more visual, maybe add some images. Yeah, I don't know, but like that's kind of the one thing that I'm also thinking of is like, this is just a very like digital platform, and that's not necessarily bad, but I also feel like it would be more comforting to someone if they were to land and then to see images like of other people, so that it doesn't just like feel very digital and very isolated. So Yelp does that really well, as I was noticing, where it's like cleaning companies and they're pulling photos like their from their listings, which I think is really smart. I I've not heard good things about Tootsie's. I will not add or decline. Also, recent activity, I think that's interesting because it shows like, oh, you know, this is kind of like some movement happening on the platform, and maybe that's something that Everine is also missing, is like a sense of movement and a sense of time. But I don't really think that's like something that needs to be done as of right now. And then you go down and it's like simple categories, this is what's going on, a little footer, pretty cute, no problems. Yeah, it also goes into like different categories, and then the location, which is like another variation on the search bar thing that I'm trying to do, which I find to be pretty interesting. I'm trying to think of like list sites. I think the easiest like list site to me of also is just like Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I am a big Pinterest fan. I'm someone who collects a lot of different things, and please stop taking me back to Roblox. I don't want to play Roblox right now. I don't want to be on Unsplash. Back here, yeah, so I'm a really big like fan of just like, I like to collect everything. I like to consume lots of data and lots of content, and I also don't like the clusterfuckian nature of other social media platforms. Um so this is like a really good mid-ground compromise. And I like the way the lists are organized. I like that it shows you when it was last updated. I like that it shows you the actual number of things in there. So probably for the lists, we might pull that, we might add more information, but I'm just gonna go in and prematurely say like title, and then date, and then like quantity or something like that. Or just like number. I don't know if date updated even matters. I also don't know if category or community matters. Maybe we should just leave it to title, date, and then number of things. And maybe if there's like an icon that someone wants to choose to represent it, that would be helpful, and it would also add to the visual imagery. So let me find the Oris. Let me find the Oris thing so that we can get some icons up in here. Where did it go? So this is Oris, our giant design system, just like from a really high level. Actually, I think it's way bigger than this now because I haven't updated it, but alas. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this icon, and then we're gonna come back here. Wait, no. I needed a light mode one. Can I just change this? Fuck yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's just like a little icon in the corner or like above, and then the title, and then the date and the quantity could be like a little bit more like of a pass through. Boom. Fat nut. That actually looks kind of good. I'm not super attached to it, I don't think, though. Okay, I could be getting attached indeed. Yeah, I think the end goal also is for people to be able to come up with their own lists and to share them and to use them. I think that's definitely further down the line for the platform at this point. Not something that I'm thinking about too much to an extent. And then also we're probably going to need just like some general like marketing text right here to provide context of like what a list is. So I would call a list like grouping groups of resources to help with a specific issue or maybe a specific problem. I don't necessarily know how I want to phrase it because we do work with a lot of communities, and these, I don't necessarily know that I would call it problem specific. Like sometimes there's just general resources and I don't necessarily know that it would solve a problem. Guides also, I would describe guides as step-by-step instructions for how to tackle next steps. And then resources, I would say like digital, or just like I don't know. I think partially the issue with this is it's just like hard to say like digitally available resources without sounding like a fucking like 90s like commercial. Like I don't want to sound like an AOL commercial. Maybe resources is just online or just like online resources by non-profits. That's not exactly what I wanted to say, but I think that's like okay enough for now. And maybe if I wanted to add more icons, I could like add an icon here as well. That's not what I wanted. Like next to the list and be like lists, guide icon, resources icon. I don't necessarily know that that needs to happen right now though. I'm not going to group these because I think we have a little bit more to go here. So I'll probably just like throw that in there. Just let me cook for a second. I'm gonna shut up. Let me cook. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, I'm dumb. No shit. Okay. Grumble. I guess I'm trying to think about like how to better say what it is in context without being like too overtly in your face with it. I also feel like what? Gosh, damn it, I forgot that I have to keep this plugged in or else it's gonna pause me. I don't know, I also feel like we have an issue with babying users too much as like designers, and I think partially it has good reason for accessibility, but I also think that like we've abstracted away so much that it's actually like causing more issues for ourselves than solving it sometimes. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just say like find. Is a button that just says find help corny? Because I feel like that's corny. I feel like that's like it literally says how can I help, and I can't change that because that's like the top of every Astra resource. Is it's just like how can I help? Like it's our tagline, it's our marketing. So maybe like find next steps. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it as this for now. But I'm not happy with that, and I also want to make this like more. What? I want to make that more like Okay. Why is this not... I'm not a fan of instances. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so like if we could do it like that, and then have these be in here. Actually, you can be a little bit smaller. You know what? This shouldn't even be designed right now. I don't even care about it. I have so many other things to design. If we just like made it like that. See, that's cute. And maybe, actually, I may have solved my issue. I'll go here, and then I'll kind of like, and then I'll say like, find help for the hardest things you'll face by dot 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 dot. Or like, find online, find non-profit resources for the hardest thing you will face by... I think that's okay. I don't think that let's take this to God really quick and let's ask her what she thinks about it. What are simpler ways to rephrase this? That was... Give me a list of simpler ways to rephrase this. Identify nonprofit assistance. No. Explore nonprofit. Access. I really like access. Uncover. I think uncover is a smacking word. Uncover nonprofit resources. You know what? We're taking number 8, I think. Locate, discover, identify, explore, seek out, find. Nonprofit aid? Does aid have a negative connotation though? Because I feel like one of the things I really don't want to do is like, I don't want, and I know this is a big issue, I don't want charity to come across as condescending. And I don't want it to be like it's only for one group of people. Like, I want everybody to feel like they can take charity whenever they need it. And I even used the word charity like on Reddit like a couple of months ago, and this girl got kind of mad at me and she was like, what do you mean by charity? And I was like, it's literally a registered charity with the IRS. And she was like, but charity has a negative connotation of like XYZ. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I understand. And so I want to phrase it as nonprofit, and I want to position things so that it feels very unstigmatized. Like, I think we should do, or like, I think I want to do with general charity aid what I used to do with mental health, which is just like make it more open and accessible and less stigmatized. Because I think honestly, a lot of people would benefit from seeing charity as something that we do for each other with each other, as opposed to something that you give someone less fortunate than you to, if that makes sense. So I like access nonprofit support for the hardest situations you'll face. I think that actually kind of smacks, but I don't necessarily know how I want to... Disgusting! Jesus Christ. L's all over the place. Okay. That is definitely a start. I'm also gonna just like... What's the date? It's 11, 24, and 23. We're just gonna do that. Is there anything smaller than body 1? Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Oh yeah. I guess not. I'm just gonna break it. Sorry, I didn't mean to break the design system. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this over and over again, honestly, I don't care. Who's gonna stop me? What god is gonna come down from their position and decry my Figma practices? I don't know. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Get over here. Okay, stuff not lining up on this side is gonna give me a goddamn heart attack, but it's for another day. Dude, Ethel Cain is really just like banging. Okay, but we gotta bump it up a little bit. This song, smacking. I wish I could have you guys listen to it without copyright because it's like, here we go. Okay, and now I should think about what a guide actually looks like. So we're gonna go to Pinterest and we're gonna see if I have anything in my design folder that I particularly like. Up in my head, up in my head. Hmm. Banger. Mm, I don't really like that. Mm. Me feeling lonely. Got it all together, but I'm so messed up. Gonna blow this year, but the pain won't stop. Too relatable. Sorry, I need to turn this down. I'm actually just like getting a little bit too into it. I like this. If there's some way that we could integrate like an image to the guide, I think that would actually go a really long way in humanizing it. So, I don't know. I didn't find anything particularly that I thought was super standout. I think like Medium's articles are also so beautiful. Um, Admirable Cloudberg, I love you. Yeah, so it's like clear person, I guess time to read, days ago, images. Like I think Medium is so beautiful just as a site, but it's not the point. Okay, so let's just like fucking yoit. Okay. So let's say that we just have like a haze. We're just dragging it. I think it would be really interesting if we just kind of had like a collapsible and openable thing. I'm gonna run Oris's example app and I want to see if there's like anything. Oh, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. That's evil. I'm trying to think if there's any like specific elements that stand out to me. I do know that we should already have. Why must you remove? Honestly, sometimes I wish I didn't become a programmer and that I just went to college and I don't know. What if I was in the Team 10 vlog squad? I think that would have been a better life path for me sometimes. Okay. If this looks ugly, don't judge me. I'm just doing my best. I'm just a girl. I'm just doing my best here. Okay. Nothing particularly is like standing out at me. Maybe like a tab subheader for the category. See, this is like the article, but it's just like, I guess. So maybe like an article view element and like a subheader next to it. Like, or no. Maybe like this article view element and then there's like a little token next to it that's like a category. How can I he? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that right now. It's gonna give me a fucking panic attack. Okay. I thought there was a collapsing card that I could use. Oh! Nope. Okay. I don't know why it's going so slow. That's illegal. But maybe we just have the article sub view and then the little token and then all of the different accordion cards. And the accordion is like the subtasks of that step, and they can just like open and close it. So I'm just gonna kind of like try to recreate that really quick. I'm just gonna key smash all over this. We're gonna go back into Oris for that little dude. Sega Bodega, you are so good at what you do. No, I meant to go back here. Okay, so let's just say this is like mental health. I'm just gonna like pull something out of my ass. Girl. Oh my gosh, that drives me nuts. You know, at some point I will learn to use the layout in Figma's system, but today is not that day. How to find a therapist. Yeah. Oh, this is making me feel good. I feel productive. Learn usually, this is actually not funny, but it's really funny. Don't look at what's gonna pop up here, but my downfall is that I put stuff into, damn, it's not here anymore. I put the worst filler content into my mockups, and then I totally forget they're there, and then I send them out, and so Valkyrie was like showing a VC our prototype, and this said having hose. That being said, I'm gonna put in learn how to find a therapist because you need one. Because sometimes when you work like I do, this is the only fun thing that you have, is you just get to talk shit and say stupid shit, and you're like testing dummy data, and it's just really funny. Okay, that's really cute actually. I don't know how I want to integrate an image into that, but we're gonna get there. And then we're probably gonna have one of these. So I'm probably imagining the guides are gonna have just like the body, the header, the category, the subheader, and then there's gonna be more resources below so that people will kind of like stay on the site and they'll jump to other stuff and they'll do whatever they want to do. And maybe like other lists in the category too. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna bring both of those below. And then what did that accordion card look like? I guess it just, oh, thank you for telling me the filler action was completed. That's so sweet of you. So I guess it's just an, icon. It's probably, hmm. Maybe I could add like a subheader to that. I don't know. I don't want to do that right now, but we will. Okay, we're gonna just add a little stroke. We're gonna just... What the fuck? Okay, I give up. I wish I was a shrimp farmer sometimes, honestly. I feel like that would be a good life for me. Shrimp don't give you product resource documents, or product requirement documents, you know? Okay, we're finding another Spotify playlist because I need more bops. I need boppier bops. I wish computers had mouths so we could kiss. That's true. Oh my god. I'm not gonna say the name of the song because I don't want to get demonetized. Not that I'm even monetized, but I think having a song titled this with the album called The Spiritual Meat Grinder is so funny. It's actually a bop, not gonna lie. Okay. I actually need to just like find one. I need to also figure out the guide thing, so I'm trying to move fast. Profit. Boom. Actually. Do I even want that little thing there? No, I don't, actually. Actually, I'm going to bring you here to delineate that that's the end of the content. And then... Actually, I'm just going to put category name. Okay. You can live for now, but not that much longer. Okay, where did the resources thing go? I'm just gonna cop that. I should chop this down a little bit, actually. We also don't even have a rating system, so I guess I can... Ah! Fuck, I hate when Figma does that to me. Grumble. Grumble! You know what? We're not even gonna use that. That's gonna be so much work to undo that I might as well just, like, make a new one. So we'll just have, like, the name, and then, like, a little something. Okay. That is fine. And now we have to figure out what goes into a guide. I also think it needs an image. Maybe I'm just gonna, like, squish this. Ah! Please do not constrain. No constraints. Remove! You know what? Someday I'll learn how to remove Figma constraints, but that is not today. Okay. Yeah. And then that'll expand and it'll show something, but we're not going to show the expanded state now because I'm trying to make dinner tonight at some point and to not just be working for the whole night. Okay. So I'm a user and I'm like beep boop beep and I click a guide and then I see this. So I'm imagining, god damn it, I'd want there to be like an image. Would it have to be full screen? Could it just be like in here? I'm gonna go to 404 Media because I actually love that media publication and I think they might have an interesting way of approaching stuff. God, I love Space Grotesque. What? That's crazy. But that's really cool. Good for Kodak. You know, they're finding a little niche for themselves. Okay, so it's just like the giant image, but I don't like the giant image, honestly. I'm not really a big fan of that. Let's see. No, another tiny image. Stop showing me tiny images. Stop showing me big images. What do I want? I don't know, maybe a hug. Okay. So, what if we just had like this, and then we just brought this whole shebang down, and then we had just like a little slice, a little home slice, or, we could also put an image up there and have it be like a banner. No, I don't like the banner design. I think it's actually a little ugly for our design system. I don't really think it's on brand for us. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna say that there's an image here. I'm just gonna go into my files and I'm gonna choose a random image, and everybody's gonna be really cool about whatever is in my files, right? Okay. We're just gonna put. I fucking hate WebP. We're just gonna put this little guy right there. Good. Yay. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks clean. I don't mind it, and I think like on mobile view it would be pretty good. And maybe the guide should be like the steps, like the number of steps that someone would take in the categories. So it would be like how to find a therapist, mental health, 8 steps. Just like very like recipe. I should have been looking at recipes actually instead of like articles because I think that would have been a closer one to one. So maybe like mental health, how to find a therapist, and then like one of these like little 8 steps like right underneath. Like mental health, how to find a therapist, 8 steps. Do I like that? And maybe I'll throw like an image in there for funsies. For funsies. I'm actually gonna add. No. So maybe these are a little bit bigger, and this whole thing comes down. And then this drops right here. And these get a little bit bigger. Yay! Okay. I see the vision coming to life, and I'm actually quite happy about that. I think that's really cool. I think the only issue is that Flutter with SEO, which is what our entire design system is based in, just fucking sucks at SEO just because of the way it's compiled, which is a little rough because like the whole reason for us to switch to Flutter was that we wanted something that would work pretty seamlessly on every platform, and I just didn't do my research enough, I guess, prior to. And I found another Dart compiler or something that would be a little bit more SEO friendly. I haven't even looked into it. But so there is like other options there, but it does kind of suck because it's like all of the stuff, all like the sites that we build have like negative SEO because there's just like nothing there. So it's pretty much like the main Astra site or just like people having to use the main URLs where everybody's getting directed, which is okay, but like that's not really what I wanted to happen, and I don't want to have to learn another programming language to figure out how to do that. So I'm trying to think if there's like other workarounds or like other ways to set this up. Maybe like our guides are like built on Astra's Squarespace site, and then we link to them from here instead of building them in Oris, so that there's like a little bit of SEO stuff, or maybe like this whole site like is a Squarespace site so that it's like easy no code for us. But yeah, I don't know, it's just hard because like obviously as like a care platform, like we want people to be able to find us through SEO, like that would be so valuable for us, but like just the design system and just like the entire technical infrastructure on which we built the company just isn't compatible with SEO. But it's like we can't diversify the technical infrastructure because like we work at a scale where we just can't do that with the resources that we have because we have no monies. So I don't know, I'm trying to think on that, but that's also something that I'm thinking of in my mind as I'm doing this, is like if I need to build this in Squarespace for the SEO, like could this be replicable like at all? Like can I like custom code some of these things and pop them in there? Like I don't know. So that's also something just like bouncing around in my brain right now, but I don't know. I'm just a baby. I just want to be a shrimp farmer. Why am I running a nonprofit? I should be running like a shrimp pond or something. I don't know. Okay. I think that's good. And then resources, honestly, I feel like I don't need to like get into this that much. Maybe I can just steal. How does Everine look? That's not Everine. That's Everine. Yeah, I mean they're like mostly. Maybe I could just take the high level text and then I could just take like the sub things like the website database legal Native American. Could I just screenshot this and reuse it actually in the Figma so that way I don't have to design it? No, because it's, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay. You know what, we're just gonna go from there. And I feel like that's okay for the landing page. I don't feel like I need to, like, I don't feel like I need to specifically do anything super crazy to that. I want to obviously go in and polish this a little bit more so that it's not just, like, ugly, and, like, add the buttons and, like, make it obviously a little bit more, like, palatable as a prototype, but just because I'm product ideating on this right now, I don't really want to put a lot of, like, polish and effort into this because it could be that I just, like, scrap this whole thing. So I'm trying to not, like, let my perfectionist brain get too attached to it. Okay. So we're just gonna rename that dark, guide, and then let's figure out what a list looks like, and we'll just rename this to be list. Okay, so on a list, what am I trying to accomplish? So I think we obviously want to have, like, title, which is obviously what the name of the list is, author. I don't even know if we should add a category because I think a lot of these things can be cross-category. So we'll just maybe keep it open and then probably date updated and then items, and maybe these all can be like in a little cute little like metadata bar next to each other so that they're all pretty much grouped. Yeah, so they could be like that. And then we could distribute horizontal spacing and kind of space them out a little bit more. And this could be definitely bigger. And then we could just steal one of these like haze backings and then bring it over here. So that way it's just like the title and then all the metadata is like nicely cooped up together. Send it back. Okay. And we'll just kind of like scoot those. Okay. I think that is a pretty good start. Things Taylor Swift might need after her Travis Kelce breakup. I love Taylor Swift. Swifties, please do not come on me. Wait, that's not what I meant. Swifties, do not come after me. I promise I'm actually a huge Taylor Swift fan, even though I'm deeply goth and a little crazy. I'm just, you know, I'm a Swiftie. Please don't come at me. And we're good. Okay. So there's that, and then I think it could be just like, honestly, I feel like it could just be like the resource list, but like numbered. Like these, but just like with a number, you know? And this isn't what they look like, but I'm just reusing stuff because there's no time. No time. Stitch. Then maybe we'll just have like another little dude, and he's like the main body, and he kind of just like protects this stuff. And then this is getting squished a little bit more. See, I really like that actually. I think that's really cool. And then also for resources, we could just have it list what lists it's a part of. We can just keep it going, you know? Lots of data science stuff swirling around in my head for someone who doesn't know anything about data science. Okay, and then these, honestly, I feel like we can just like add a number to them and put them up here. And I'll just have to like make a no, I'll just have to like make a modified like little dude. I'm so sniffly. Does the ordering even matter? I don't know. I've gone insane. I'm on the dark side. You know, I don't hate it, but I'm not like, I don't know. I want more pizzazz. I don't know. I think also the hard part about this is I'm trying to keep in mind the resource constraints of Astra, which is just like, it's me, and there's like not a lot of time that we can devote for moderation, and there's not a lot of time that we can devote to other stuff. And so I'm trying to think like, what is the, like, what's customization that we can add and be happy with that would not require a lot of moderation on our part, but would really give this like a lot of product depth. And I don't really know the answer to that. And maybe the issue is that we just only allow us as like the company to make lists or like other verified users, and we don't really give that option to other people, so there's no need for moderation. Um yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to like think about this, but wait, why are my numbers messed up? That makes me sad. I don't know. It looks ugly to me. I'm actually getting kind of upset because I'm just like, oh, why does nothing ever look like how I want it to look in my head? And maybe we should actually like put a little label over these that say like list, like guide, resource, because I think we just have resources now and it might get a little confusing in the future if we don't like add like some context about it. So this is like list, how to find therapist, and this could be like guide. Wait, god damn it, why don't I, there we go. And then we can actually zoom in and make this guy smaller. And then we can actually just get rid of you entirely and just kind of like, there we go. Okay, that's one part of it, but I don't think that's everything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it, and I can't tell if I don't like it because I've made it or because there's something actually wrong with it. And then I'm gonna look for a back button somewhere. Nope. Where did my back buttons go? All of my back buttons, where have you gone? Sorry I'm not higher energy. I'm just like, I've just had honestly a really rough ass couple of days, and I'm just like, thumbs down, you know? I'm just not a big holiday person. I'm not a big socialization person. I'm like, I don't know. Being an adult is really hard. I thought that when I got out of my home that I would just be so happy about it that I didn't really consider anything adulthood related. And I don't mean that like I never thought about like, oh, do I want a house? Do I want XYZ? I just mean like I thought that it would be, I don't know. I just thought that there would be more answers than there currently are. And I think the issue is like the answers just wait for nobody. And you just need to answer or you just lose out. And that sucks. And I mean, I guess it's like, that's part of life, but I'm just like, and I've also discussed this in my founders therapy video, but it's like I'm now having to ask myself all of these questions about like what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of future do I want to have? Do I want to prioritize like my career or my family? Like I don't know. And these things are pretty hard, and when I was living in Oakland, it was definitely different than it is now. I felt I felt like I was crazy, but I also felt more supported. And now that I'm up here in like a pretty rural area, I thought it would like help me to focus, and it does, but it also just makes me feel like, oh wait, that's a guide. That's not a list, god damn it. It just I feel like in a rural area, I kind of feel like I don't know, people gawk at me and people like say stuff about me that it makes me feel really self-conscious, and I wanted to move to a rural area to not be self-conscious. And now I'm just hanging out with all these people, or like I'm meeting these people and they're like, "Oh, wow, you're unique," or like, "Where did you get her?" which is like something that somebody said to me, and I was like, "Why would you say that to me?" Like, I get it, but also I'm just like I'm a human being. I'm not just like a little goth specimen. Like, please be nice to me. I know I'm on the autism spectrum, but please don't be mean. Okay, I'm. I feel like if I added icons to this, and maybe I just like made it a little bit smaller, then it would be different. But I'm just like not really feeling this. I guess now I'm feeling it a little bit more. But yeah, I guess long story short, I just thought like I don't know, I just thought that I would have more of a zest for life than I currently do. And maybe I do need to find like a therapist list, but I don't know. I feel like this is also partially related to like my disillusionment with the tech industry, like as someone in Gen Z. Like, I was told that, people who were in the tech industry were like gonna change the world, and, they were gonna do XYZ. And like, yeah, if you can raise like billions of dollars of venture capital, and if you like have a bunch of industry connections, or if you've gone to Stanford, or if you've like gotten into OIC, that stuff's going to be really easy for you. But if you haven't, no one's gonna take you seriously, honestly. So that's been pretty hard too. But I don't know. I'm simply just a girl, um, unfortunately, making stuff and doing stuff and trying to figure it out. And we're doing it together. Yay. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm also going through like some, I don't know. I'm just like being around people who aren't like super supportive of the stuff that I believe in. Or not supportive of the stuff that I believe in, but supportive of the stuff that I do. And it just kind of like sucks, honestly. Like, I had this conversation with a friend at a bar a couple of weeks ago, and I was like just talking to her about my work and like about what I want to do. And she said something to me, and I don't know if it's wise or if it's like probably one of the worst things anybody's ever said to me. But I was just like, I love my work so much. Like, I love being able to help people and I love being impactful and stuff. And she was like, it doesn't really matter because, like, even if you do help people, there's always going to be people that you don't help, and it just evens it out. And, like, it doesn't really, like, like, don't kill yourself over it. And I was just like, I guess. And I don't know. Like, I think it's important to keep perspective, but I also feel like I just don't have, like, I don't know. It feels like if everybody else struggles to believe in you, it's like, how are you supposed to believe in yourself? And so I'm like building this and I'm like stressing out and I'm trying to think about like all of these different like constraints and all these different things and I'm trying to think about like how can we run the site with like zero funding and I'm also trying to think about like is this like even something that's worth building? So I don't know. I'm just that was really dramatic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just like trauma dump on my YouTube channel, but I don't know. I think it's just like it was really hard for me growing up because it was like, okay, like obviously like my mom doesn't believe in what I'm doing and like I really don't even know if this is like a legitimate like method of doing stuff and I thought that at some point that I would just by like sheer will that I would like gain the ability to know that this is the right thing to do and that this is the right way to go about it. And it feels like I have that in some ways, but it also feels like in other ways I'm just blinder than I originally was, and I miss the bliss and I miss the naivete of youth and all these other things. But I don't know. One day at a time? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So we'll have to see. But I like the list. I think it's okay. I want to add icons up here, but I'm also trying to not like go too deep into the polish. I like this. I think this is also okay. I don't know if I like this little category anymore. Maybe like the way to go about it is to have like half like image and then to have like half like thing and then also have like a author. Ooh, maybe if we could just like cross reuse these, that would actually be really helpful. Hmm. Hmm. If that's not how you spell Joellen, I'm so sorry to Joe. Okay, I actually really like that smaller image with this because I feel like it just works really well. I do regret deleting that little like mental health dude, so maybe I'm gonna bring him back. And then we're just gonna have mental health. Ah! Bring him to the front! Bring him to the front! Bring him to me! Honestly, I think that looks super good. I think that looks so good. Okay. Do I want to? Mm. Hmm. Be like a little byline and like that. And then that just gets bigger. Actually, I'm very okay with this. I think this is actually like. I'm so full from horrifying realizations. Yum. Ah! I guess I predicted what I was thinking by picking that meme, even though I didn't mean to actually do that. Okay, so we're gonna group this, and we're gonna group this, and I think we're good to just group this. I think if anything, I would like to also have the little like numbers thing here, so maybe I'll just have to make like a separate element for that. Yeah, but I don't know. And if any of y'all have ideas about like how to not let the world crush your spirit and turn you into a 70-year-old, I am all ears. I'm trying to figure out how to just stay motivated as an adult and to stay not jaded in the pursuit of my dreams. And I know that that's honestly easier said than done, but it's just like I don't know, like I listen to all the people who are just like saying like, "Oh, that'll never work." And it's like I think it's important to have a degree of realism and I think it's important to have a degree of like I wouldn't say pessimism, but I would say just like doomerism about what you could do because I think that's honestly the best path to go forward into something is to be like this could fail and I know that and I accept it anyways and I will go forward with it because it is what I want to do. So I'm not saying that people shouldn't be like doomeristic or not, but I just can't imagine living in a world where I don't think things could change. I think that would just be a very sad reality for me, and I just don't really want to think about it. So maybe the best bet is for me to like not think about that, because unfortunately I didn't love living in Oakland, but now that I'm in a more rural area, I miss it actually more than I thought I would, and I'm kind of like, fuck, I actually should have lived in the Bay Area for longer because everybody was crazy, but also I'm crazy, so maybe it was just like, maybe it evens it out, you know? And honestly, I'm just gonna kill these because I think like, what? I was supposed to delete you. I'm just gonna kill these for now because I don't really want to put in like a ton of effort on that, and I'm just gonna shrink you a little bit, and then I'm actually gonna full screen this so that I can see the design, like just like heads down. I don't know why all of these sizing things are just so off from Oris, but we'll just say like, I'm just gonna put in my like fake dummy data right there, and I'm just gonna say like 124 items. Yeah, sure, I do have 124 items. Yeehaw. Beautiful. Honestly, yeah, polishing needed, but overall, like, you know, not. Oh, that's not a line that's gonna drive me nuts. I also really wish I had Mexican food right now. Okay, beautiful. Things Housewife might need after her Travis Kelce breakup. I don't really feel like this is like what I want it to be. No, I don't like that either. I feel like this needs more pizzazz. Or maybe there's just like some graphics, or like maybe I just need another image here, and I need to kind of just like cop this kind of like general layout, but I don't know if that's making it look too similar, and if it's going to be confusing to the user. But I like that visual of like lumping it in, you know? Mm. I don't know. I think I'm overthinking it, and I just need to like get out of my own head on it, honestly. But I mean, like, yeah, so there's that, and there's that. And honestly, that wouldn't be hard to program. Like, it's not like a super big change. And it's not like I'm like, ooh, like, look at all this crazy stuff. But I don't know. I think that's fine. I don't know. I just don't like it. And I feel like I should be doing more and that it should be like 100% better, but I'm also like, you're 22, you can't just build like the most beautiful piece of software ever made in like 20 minutes for a YouTube video. So we are silencing those voices. Maybe I would like, oh, I like that center line. That's actually very pretty. Hmm. Also, I'm sorry for sniffling. I just have like insane allergies, and I've just been honestly feeling like sick for like a month straight. So I don't know. Yeah, not feeling great, but we move. So I think overall, let's say I'm a user and I'm coming to the site and I know nothing about it. See, how can I help? Access nonprofit support for the hardest situations you'll face by category, community, care type, lists. Honestly, that feels solid. Guides, solid. Resources, solid. And then I feel like I can just kind of like cycle back. I don't know. You know what? I just feel like this is a good starting point. And that's all that it needs to be. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be polished. It just needs to be a good starting point for me to actualize my vision. And we can go from there. So I know this was like a little bit calmer / like less chaotic than most of my like work with me sessions. But thank you all for hanging out with me and for letting me kind of just like discuss and talk about stuff. I think for me, I'm just like, I just have such big dreams, and I obviously just have so many things that I want to do, and I feel like I just don't really have the resources to do them, and it feels like my only like available resources are just like the love for my friends and family, or the love for my friends and sometimes my dad. And so it feels like when I don't get that, I'm just like, that was my only like nourishment. Why am I not getting it? So I don't know. I think it's also not that like I don't have friends that support me, but I think it's very different like being around people that you see every day versus like having people that you text and like sometimes see and like sometimes hang out with. But Valkyrie's doing an amazing job of trying to get me more people and trying to get me to like think about things more. But realistically, I'm just like, can I build some cool stuff? I don't know. Am I gonna try? Yeah, maybe trying is all that matters. But that is the end of this video. I'm gonna make some pizza and play Roblox and think more about what kind of internet, or not even internet, but what kind of just like online artifacts can we create that would be impactful, that would do anything. And I feel like also part of the stalemate is just like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop saying it's the end of the video because I say it's the end of the video and then I like pick up on like other thought rambles that I want to do. But I feel like part of the issue is just like, I don't I don't know. It just feels hard. Okay, so maybe that is the end of the video. I was gonna say more, but my brain is just not working and I'm feeling pretty sick and honestly pretty terrible overall. So I'm gonna hop off and relax and try to enjoy my day and try to just breathe and tell myself that good things take time, even though I've been building this for 6 years and I feel like I should be further along than I am, but that's okay. Because one day at a time. Yeah, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So bite taken today, and that's what matters. But I love you guys. I hope you all are having a restful or like a generally chill day, and that you get whatever you need, and that this holiday, if not relaxing, has at least been something meaningful to you. So that is the end. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Bill Gates, if you're seeing this, but other than that, be safe. Bye.